Meanwhile, the governor's statewide stay-at-home order is a major shift in policy.
It comes amid increasing political pressure that gained national attention. CBS 4's Jim Berry joins us now with the details. Jim.
Well, guys, that's right. Until now, the governor had resisted calls for a statewide stay-at-home order, even as the number of COVID-19 cases in Florida was surging. But at his briefing today in Tallahassee, DeSantis announced a political about-face.
I'm going to be doing an executive order today directing all Floridians to limit movements and personal interactions outside the home to only those necessary to obtain or provide essential services or conduct essential activities.
The governor's executive order means that our new normal will last a while longer. In Miami-Dade and Broward, which account for more than half of the state's COVID-19 cases, local officials have already locked things down. DeSantis had been hesitant to do so statewide, saying it would cripple business in rural areas with low infection rates. But today, DeSantis made it clear his view has changed.
At this point, I think even though there's a lot of places in Florida that have very low infection rates, it makes sense to make this move now.
Critics had railed against DeSantis for not issuing a statewide stay-at-home order, but the governor held firm until they heard President Trump call for another month of nationwide social distancing.
But I think that given that we're having a 30-day, I think that's a signal from the president that, look, this is what we're going to be fighting for a month. There's not going to be any kind of return to normalcy. People thought Easter, all that. That's not going to happen.
DeSantis says he hopes there won't be a need for heavy-handed enforcement of his stay-at-home order, which he says is meant to be practical.
If you're engaged in essential services, if you're seeking essential services like groceries, gas, medicine, if you're engaging in essential activity, okay. If you're not, then you're going to be protecting yourself, your family, and your fellow Floridians better, if you stick close to home.
Now, in addition to the new statewide stay-at-home order, several South Florida cities also have nighttime curfews in effect. Today's order from the governor means we can all expect to be on lockdown at least until early May. In the newsroom, I'm Jim Berry, CBS 4 News.
Jim, thank you.
NBC's correspondent Carrie Sanders, longtime resident there. Governor DeSantis has had a change of heart, Carrie.
He has had a change of heart, announcing that there is now going to be a statewide stay-at-home. Up until now, the state has been taking a fair amount of criticism, specifically the governor here, because he has let it up to local officials in counties and in cities to decide what they would do. That's left to a patchwork in the state where in some cases you have beaches like on Miami, here in Fort Lauderdale, where beaches are closed. But if you go up the East Coast, for instance, at Daytona, New Smyrna, the beaches have been open. Up along the Panhandle, the beaches have been open. It's been a symbol to many people that this state, across the country anyway, that many people in this state are not taking this COVID-19 threat seriously. So the state now, from the governor, announcing that there will be a stay-at-home place, an order put in place. This comes about an hour and a half before there was supposed to be a hearing in Tallahassee. Daniel Ufelder, an attorney who had filed to get a judge to order the governor to do a statewide shutdown. It's unclear if this is a response to that lawsuit, but the governor's office completely aware that a judge was about to begin looking at and scheduling an emergency hearing on whether the courts should order the governor to do a shutdown. But effectively what this means is this state, and I'm gonna have to rely on you for the numbers, but I think it's about 6,000 coronavirus cases right now in the state. This state, which the health officials say probably, okay, this state, the health officials are saying sometime in about 2 to 4 weeks, we will begin to see that severe climb. And so if that severe climb is about to happen, this stay-at-home order should cause it, if it follows as it should cause it to drop, but not completely, but drop somewhat. So politically, Governor Ron DeSantis, a Republican, has basically stuck with his philosophy until now, which is less government is the better government, the government of letting locals decide. It's interesting. It's a complete other aside, but this is the same governor who would not let local governments here decide things like whether they could ban plastic bags and plastic straws. But in this case, up until now, he has decided that this is going to be a local issue. Now it's a state issue and one that's going into effect.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.
Governor Ron DeSantis issues a wide-reaching mandate.
The whole state of Florida will be under a stay-at-home order, and Local 10's Glenna Milberg is live with what led to the governor's apparent change of heart. Glenna.
Well, you know, Nicole, Calvin, what Governor DeSantis has been doing all along, he says, is taking his cues from the CDC and from the Trump administration's national approach, which, as you know, changed as of yesterday. The whole tone of it changed. So that appears to be what is behind the governor's sort of reversal today by putting the entire state under this state of stay-at-home order. A move that surprised even some of the county's own emergency operations centers. South Florida is supposed to be under that already. We found that a lot of people are obeying and a lot of people are not.
Because I had decided on this, you know, when the president did the 30-day extension.
The governor made the stay-at-home order statewide, changed his let the locals decide approach as the tone of the Trump administration became more serious with COVID-19 cases exploding.
That's a national pause button. I had concerns about how some of that would affect different communities in Florida who have not been hit the same way, and I don't anticipate getting hit the same way as places like Miami-Dade. But I wanted to see what their guidelines would actually say, and even the guidelines, they never actually said to do that.
South Florida's been under a governor's 4-county regional stay-at-home order this week, and a host of local ones, essential life business only, with a mother lode of cases in the state here. Even so, we see compliance uneven. Employees at a car wash working too close for comfort, and a viewer sent this snapshot of the line at a Miami area ATM.
At some point, you know, you do need to just exercise good judgment. The government can't ham fist everybody into their bedroom.
You know, there are enforcement mechanisms, but the governor said today that he doesn't want to have to be arresting people or enforcing people, that personal responsibility is so key in this whole COVID-19 crisis. This new stay-at-home statewide order is effective midnight tonight, so tomorrow, and for 30 days at least for now. I'm Glenna Milberg, live in Miami today, Local 10 News.
This morning, Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale withholding permission for 2 cruise ships to dock. Holland America Zaandam and Rotterdam desperately looking to tie up and get most of their 2,500 passengers and crew to shore. On board, 9 who tested positive for COVID-19. They would stay on board, along with close to 200 others with flu-like symptoms that the cruise line suspects is coronavirus. Among the passengers terrified they could get the virus, Rick DePino and his wife, Wendy.
Time is of the essence. Every minute counts.
Yeah, we don't want to be sitting here in a petri dish any longer than we have to.
4 passengers on the Zaandam have already died.
So he's, you know, in the ship's morgue, I presume.
Including Leanne Morris Plisky's 75-year-old uncle, his wife, her 71-year-old aunt, grieving all alone.
She's in the room where he passed away, and now she's all by herself.
And you'd like to see what?
I would love to see the ship be given safe harbor somewhere. Let them come into port.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Tuesday, Broward commissioners with authority over the port faced a difficult catch-22. Let the ships dock and potentially spread the virus to those on shore, or keep the ships at sea, potentially sentencing some on board to die.
There are no great choices left. These are tough outcomes.
The Holland America line is owned by Carnival, whose chief maritime officer is former Navy Vice Admiral Bill Burke.
We are coming to the place of last resort.
The cruise began in Argentina. About 300 of the 2,500 on board are U.S. citizens. Florida's governor says if those 2,200 foreign nationals came to shore and got sick, they'd take up limited hospital resources that Floridians might need.
Just to drop people off at the place where, you know, we're having the highest number of cases right now, you know, just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
We have people that are dying on the ship, or at least very sick, but they're dying on the ship. So I'm gonna do what's right, not only for us but for humanity.
Do the politicians really want the blood of passengers on their memories forever? I mean, is that really what we want?
DeSantis, who's kind enough to join us on the phone. Governor, thank you for joining us. What about these ships? What are you going to do?
Yeah, so I think actually we're going to have a solution. You know, when this first came on our radar, I was told that these ships were all foreign nationals and that they had no connection to Florida. So I was just like, why would you just bring them to Florida? It turns out there are American citizens, and we actually have Floridians. I think there's 30 or 40 Floridians. And so the county is working on a plan to be able to get the Floridians back safely expatriate the foreign nationals so that they're not mixing with our community. I've offered National Guard support to be able to help in that effort. We were concerned about a deluge into the hospitals, but I think it turns out that there will probably be some who will need to go, but it's very, very manageable, and the local hospital system thinks that they can handle it. So I actually think that they're going to be able to deal with this in a way that makes sense. And obviously, once we found out that there were American citizens and Floridians especially on board, we wanted to find a way to make it work. There is a concern, of course, given that we have most of our cases down in those two counties, that if you had folks infected and then they were going to the airport or going to different areas, that could potentially continue to help the spread. But I think that they have it figured out so that it'll all be done safely, and I'm hoping that they'll be able to come to a resolution on that very soon.
Would they dock in Fort Lauderdale? Where would they go?
Yeah, I think they would. But what would happen is they would, the Floridians, obviously, there's some of the Floridians live right in Broward, and some of the other Floridians, would be taken to, where they're from. The foreigners, I think there will be flights arranged for them. They will not go into the airport. It'll be done to where there's not going to be an opportunity to spread coronavirus to the people of Florida. So I think it's a thoughtful approach that they're working on, and hopefully the cruise line will, be willing to agree to some of the terms the county wants. But look, at the end of the day, Neil, I mean, I think that we've seen these cruise ships be big problems with this virus, and I know they're not sailing, any new ones, but this is going to continue to be a problem, and so we just want to make sure that people are safe, both on those ships, but particularly on shore in places like the state of Florida.
Now, Governor, today you also issued a stay-at-home order. Many of your critics and Democrats who wrote a letter to you to say that you shouldn't put this off. You've done that. How will it work? When does it take effect?
Well, so just so your viewers know, Southeast Florida has 60% of our cases. We have done stay-at-home in conjunction with the mayor of Miami-Dade. So they've been under restrictions for a couple weeks now. I had some counties. I have counties of 500,000 people that have only a handful of cases. So we had not done it statewide, but in our hot spot that had been done. Now with the president doing the extra 30 days, my view is look, the country's hit the pause button. We've hit the pause button. This is the number 1, 2, 3 priority. I know there was talk about getting the economy back a little sooner, but I think that unless we just deal with this, and so I felt it made sense to extend it statewide. And obviously we have a lot of parts of Florida that haven't been hit as hard as Miami or Broward, but we want to keep it that way, and we don't want to see more spread in those areas. If it's just Southeast Florida, that's kind of our epicenter. Yeah. We've put a lot of resources down there. We don't want there to be a massive surge, obviously, but we've got a lot of resources staged there. So I think it's the best policy for the state at this time.
How are you policing the beaches and crowds going to the beaches? I mean, we've got hundreds, thousands of miles of it if you think about it. And I'm just...
Yeah, we have no crowds on any public space of 10 or more. And so some places just close every public space because they don't want to police it. Some people let people go to a park, whatever. But what happens is, our whole state is a coastline. And so you can have a beach be closed, but guess what? Unless you're policing it 24/7, people go out there. So I was flying out of Miami. We're going up the coast. I see a slew of beaches that are, quote, closed, but you do have people go out there. So this is kind of like whack-a-mole. People are going to do different things. But, a lot of the stuff in the media that was played about, like the spring break, that was before the CDC had changed their guidance. So they were saying 1,000 people groups were fine. That was like 4 days before the 15 days to stop the spread. So that escalated quickly. And then once that happened, the groups were banned all throughout the state of Florida. So, but we are seeing other areas of the state. I mean, people do congregate in private residences and other things. And, we have 21.5 million people. I mean, it's definitely a challenge. Most people have been doing a great job, and I want to thank the people of Florida for doing a great job.
Thank you, Governor, very, very much. I know you're quite busy. Ron DeSantis, the governor of the beautiful state of Florida right now, where a stay-at-home order is now, or will be, I believe, tomorrow night in effect.